He grew up learning silence before he learned words. He smiled, but no one ever smiled back. He longed for warmth, but the world was always cold. Love, the word he knew but never felt. Then one day she appeared, soft, kind, and bright like morning light. For a while, he believed love had finally found him, but fate had other plans. And the boy who was never loved as a child lost his love once again. Ahmed's childhood was painted in the colors of silence. His home was not filled with laughter or love. Only the low hum of arguments, the sharp sound of slammed doors, and the endless ticking of a clock that marked lonely hours. His father was a stern man, buried under the weight of responsibilities, and his mother, lost in her own world of worries and unspoken sadness. Between them, Ahmad existed like a shadow, present, yet unseen. He often sat by the window, watching other children play outside. Their laughter echoed through the street, filling his small heart with both wonder and ache. He wanted to run with them, to be part of that light, but he never did. He had learned early that in his home, quiet was safety and silence was love. If he spoke too much, his father's voice would thunder. If he cried, his mother's eyes would fill with tears she never let fall. So he stopped asking, stopped expecting, and started pretending that he didn't need love at all. But loneliness leaves invisible scars. Every night when the lights went out, he would stare at the ceiling and imagine someone holding him, someone who would listen, someone who would stay. He promised himself that one day, when he grew up, he would find a love so strong that it would erase the emptiness of his childhood. He didn't know then that the wounds of being unloved do not fade easily. They travel with you quietly, patiently, until they find a new way to hurt. Ahmad carried that quiet pain into his teenage years, hidden beneath polite smiles and perfect grades. To the world, he was fine, but inside, he was still that little boy, waiting for someone to love him first. When Ahmad entered college, life suddenly felt brighter. The campus was alive with color, laughter in the air, sunshine spilling across green courtyards, and a new sense of freedom that whispered of beginnings. Amid this vibrance, he met Zainab. She was everything his childhood had lacked: warmth, patience, and an unspoken kindness that seemed to see right through his carefully built walls. For the first time, Ahmad felt noticed, not for his grades, not for being quiet, but simply for being himself. Zainab would listen when he spoke, laugh at his shy humor, and share her dreams as if he were part of them. Slowly, her presence began to fill the empty corners of his heart. He found himself waiting for her messages, counting the moments until their next meeting, and imagining a future where love wasn't just a fantasy. Under the golden sunlight of youth, Ahmad started to bloom. The boy who once feared rejection now believed in connection. The one who had known silence all his life now found music in Zainab's voice. She taught him what affection felt like: gentle, constant, and real. But life, like love, has its own fragile balance. Ahmad could sense the storm before it came: whispers about her family's disapproval, her father's strict traditions, her mother's hesitation. Yet he held on, convinced that love strong enough could overcome anything. In Zainab's eyes, he saw his redemption. In her smile, his healing. What he didn't know was that sometimes love arrives not to stay, but to show us what our hearts were always missing. For Ahmad, this was the first time he felt complete, and the last time he would be untouched by heartbreak. The day Zainab told Ahmad that her parents had arranged her marriage, the world seemed to stop moving. Her voice trembled, her eyes filled with tears, but her words were steady, final. Ahmad sat in silence, unable to speak, unable to breathe. He had spent his whole life searching for love, and now that he had finally found it, it was slipping away, not because of betrayal, but because of fate. In the days that followed, everything around him became dull. The sunlight that once felt warm now burned his skin. The laughter of friends became noise he couldn't stand. He tried to stay strong, to act like he understood, but inside he was falling apart, quietly, completely. Every memory of Zainab haunted him. The way she tucked her hair behind her ear, the way she said his name softly, the promise in her eyes that she would never leave. When her wedding day came, Ahmad stood at a distance, watching. The music played, people smiled, flowers danced in the wind, and yet he felt none of it. His eyes followed her as she walked down the aisle in her golden dress, shining under the bright sun. For a moment, she looked his way. Their eyes met, and then she looked away forever. Ahmad didn't cry. He had no tears left. Pain had become something deeper, a silent, hollow ache that words couldn't touch. He walked away that evening with the weight of 2 heartbreaks. The love he never received as a child, and the love he could not keep as a man. That night, he realized the cruel truth. Sometimes love doesn't end in betrayal or anger. Sometimes it just leaves, quietly, taking your soul with it. After Zainab's wedding, Ahmad's world turned painfully quiet. The once bright mornings became heavy. Sunlight no longer brought warmth, only reminders of what was lost. His laughter, once gentle and shy, vanished completely. The friends who tried to reach him found only empty words and distant eyes. His heart, already fragile from years of emotional hunger, finally collapsed under the weight of loss. Days melted into nights, and nights into endless silence. Ahmad stopped attending classes, stopped writing, stopped caring. His notebooks remained open, but the ink had dried, much like the hope inside him. He sat for hours staring at nothing, his mind replaying old memories like broken film reels. The love that once healed him now haunted him. Zainab's voice echoed in his mind, not as comfort, but as a ghost of what could never return. Loneliness, once familiar, now became unbearable. He felt like a stranger in his own life, walking through it without meaning. The depression grew quietly, almost politely, until it consumed everything. Ahmad's reflection in the mirror became someone he didn't recognize. Hollow eyes, unkempt hair, and a smile that no longer reached anywhere near his soul. He avoided people, terrified they might see through his mask. But deep down, he wished someone would. He wanted someone to notice, to ask, to care. Yet, just like in childhood, no one did. Every night before sleep, he whispered into the dark, "Maybe love just isn't meant for me." And with every repetition, his belief hardened. What had begun as heartbreak became something deeper, an acceptance of emptiness. Ahmad wasn't just mourning a person anymore. He was mourning himself, the version of him that still believed love could save him. One morning, after months of quiet despair, Ahmad sat on his balcony, staring at the golden sunlight spilling over the rooftops. The world outside was alive, children laughing, birds chirping, life moving forward. And then he saw it, a small boy running into his mother's arms, giggling freely, his laughter echoing through the street. For a moment, something inside Ahmad cracked. But it wasn't pain this time, it was awakening. He realized that the child he was watching, carefree, loved, safe, was everything his younger self had longed to be. For the first time, he didn't feel envy. He felt understanding. He whispered softly, "You deserved that love too," as if speaking to the little boy that still lived within him. That moment changed everything. Ahmad decided to seek help. Therapy wasn't easy. At first, it felt like reopening old wounds. But as he talked, cried, and learned, he began to understand that healing wasn't about erasing the past. It was about forgiving it. He started writing again, not to escape, but to express. His words became bridges between his pain and his peace. Slowly, Ahmad rebuilt his world. He reconnected with people, learned to smile genuinely, and allowed himself to feel joy without fear. He stopped searching for someone to love him and began learning how to love himself, gently, patiently, fully. One evening, standing under the same sunlight that once mocked his loneliness, Ahmad finally felt whole. The boy who grew up unloved had learned the greatest truth of all. Healing doesn't come from finding someone to love you. It comes from becoming the one who finally does. And with that, Ahmad smiled, not for the world, but for himself.